Hello. A few ideas on the board, kind of overflowing to the back of the board. And I'm not going to do this one today. I'll put it on the front of the board and clear it up a little bit. That's kind of a rant and a counter rant, which I'm not in the mood for today. But I just want to talk about imagery and image and vision and how we see things. You know, we look through our eyes and we see on our inner screen, you know, our image, our direct sensory image to our brain. But, you know, what about other things? I put down clear light here. That's not really part of this. Interesting group from the early 70s or 60s. But it's a topic in Buddhism. The state as you're passing to death is one example of it. Anyway, that's a whole different subject, really. So anyway, I was thinking about, I've been talking a lot about hypnagogic imagery, and that kind of plays on your inner screen as well. Is it the same inner screen or a different inner screen? I think it's more or less the same inner screen, because you can see hypnagogic imagery if you allow yourself in regular sight. It's kind of an advanced topic, but so inner screen or inner screens, plural. Like night dreams, we are seeing it on the same inner screen as vision, because we get the hypnagogic imagery that brings us into the night dream. And in the night dream we get vivid hypnagogic imagery, I guess. You know, most of us see color and have a real, you know, I've recorded a lucid dream experience where I had a very realistic, it's almost like a real life experience. I really had to test things. It didn't seem, things were just so solid and repeatable, you know, it's normally not a feature of dreams. Anyway, that's, if you want to read about that, go to that video. And then there's something else that's really curious to me, is visionless imagery, where it's not, you know, sensory imagery. It's not even hypnagogic imagery. It's like clear. It's like no imagery, but there's imagery. There's no inner screen, but there's still imagery in your mind, in your mental. So, are daydreams like a mental only thing? They don't really happen on your sort of physical view screen that you watch your physical senses, or even the in between the hypnagogic imagery. It's neither of those. And yet you can daydream, at least I can. I'm sure it happens to a lot of people. I've daydreamed all my life. But I'll have real profound daydreams. And, you know, other people involved and stuff, not that I know in real life, but I'll be with somebody in a daydream, you know, and I'll be having this situation going on. And then all of a sudden I'll jolt out of it. And it's so funny, the way it just goes away from your brain. It's just like gone. And it's like you can feel it erasing in your head. I've had a real struggle with recall lately, which is kind of where I'm going to, because you got to take the recall out. That's kind of what I drew down here. If you have an experience in the mental or the astral, you know, you have an experience outside of the physical body, a daydream is in your mind. Well, that daydream, kind of in your higher mind, not your brain mind, kind of your higher mind, it has to translate through all these layers back to your brain to really register as a memory. So we have a lot of experiences that just kind of go by us. And dreams are the same, you know, night dreams are the same way. They go by us. We wake up in the morning and just feel it erasing in your head. You try to recall it, but it's just gone. But then something will remind you of it, possibly. And this has happened to me, you know, all the time with night dreams. And even to a small extent, daydreams. Not as much, though. It's like daydreams are different. And that's the difference I'm trying to distinguish here. Is And daydream and night dream is kind of the simplicity of thought here. You know, it's really having an OBE is pretty much similar to having a daydream, really. It's almost exactly the same thing to a point. Hopefully more controlled, though, and more conscious. But the whole thing is trying to get that recall going. It's been a real struggle for me lately. You know, since I'm retired, I've got a lot of free time. I can nap in the middle of the day. I can stop and meditate anytime I want, which I do a little bit here and there. I'm more of a small, frequent, but small, short periods of meditations. Little catatonic moments. A lot of times, just a little moment. But meditation is something you develop, you know, you get that reserve, that space you can go back to. That quiet reserve. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I suggest you experience that for yourself eventually. It's a little bit of work in meditation. Shouldn't really be work, it's not a good word to use for it, but nothing comes without effort of some sort. Anyway, that's really all I had to say on this topic. As far as if you're still with me and you're a regular watcher, I will be doing a lot more old videos, you know, from Hiller's stream. I'll still be processing a lot more of those. I think I did 10 already, close to anyway. There's going to be probably another 10 or 20 more. That's really all I had to talk about. If anybody has any ideas or thoughts on this, or even different ways of looking at this, different models that I'm presenting. And I kind of went in here, daydreams are kind of a mental only thing, mental, maybe even causal. And then night dreams can be all of these really, all the way down to the physical. So there's some differences between the two. The daydream is interesting to me because it's basically an OBE sort of type deal. There's a fine line. Because you can have a fantasy in a daydream, you know, just like a night dream. But it's really hard to really know what's going on. You know, you fall into a situation, you're with somebody else in a daydream, and we're having a conversation, and I feel like I know that person. I feel like I'm right in the situation. I don't know how to say it any different. You're in the situation, you feel like you're at home in the situation. That's what I really want to say. You don't feel it's something unusual. It's like you know the person, even though you don't know them in real life. Interesting. It's really tough getting daydream recall, but work on it, because just like night dream recall is kind of interesting, daydream recall is fascinating to me. Well, let me know what you think. Any ideas, thoughts? Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, please. Notify, subscribe, all that good stuff.